When I opened the door to my family's house after 3 years in prison, my mom didn't hug me, my father didn't stand up, and my sister walked past me like I was a stranger. I was sentenced to 21. Wrong place, wrong time, and no one cared to check the facts. Someone got beat half to death outside a liquor store. I was nearby. That was enough. No real witnesses, no cameras, just a system looking to close a case fast. Public defender, no chance. 3 years. At first I waited, thought my mom would visit, that my girlfriend would write, that someone, anyone, would call. But silence is a loud thing. I wrote letters every week to my mom, to my sister, to the girl who once said, "I'll never leave you." No replies, not one. The prison bars didn't break me, their silence did. Then came the appeal. A year and a half in, new evidence surfaced. A second look, a retrial. I was exonerated. Official apology, handshake from a man in a suit. "You're free to go." So I went home. I believed, stupidly, that love would still be there. But it wasn't. Mom opened the door and just stood there. Dad looked at me like I'd tracked mud onto his floor. And the only words he said, "They don't lock people up for no reason." I stayed 2 more weeks, a ghost in the house I used to call home. No welcome, no warmth, no belief in my innocence, even with papers that proved it. They'd already buried me, and they never planned to dig me back up. So I packed a small bag, no goodbyes, and walked out.
I walked out of that house with nothing but a small bag in my hand and a heavy heart. The people who were supposed to love me had already buried me alive, and they didn't even care to tell me. The streets were cold and unfamiliar, but I had nowhere else to go. I rented a tiny apartment, barely enough space to sleep. The walls were thin, and the heater barely worked in the freezing winter. But it was mine. Every day, I searched for work, odd jobs, day labor, anything that would pay the bills. Then slowly, I started fixing phones and laptops for neighbors and strangers. I saved every penny, scrimping on food, heat, and even sleep. Nights were long, and exhaustion was my constant companion. Sometimes the loneliness pressed down so hard I thought I'd break. But every call I fixed, every device I repaired, was a small victory, a step towards something better. I was building a life from ashes. And though the pain of betrayal never left me, I learned to carry it like a scar, not a chain.
I built something from nothing. Rented a tiny apartment, fixed broken phones for cash, started my own repair shop. I worked late, ate alone, slept light, but I was free. For the first time, truly free. Then one day, my phone rang. Unknown number. "It's Dad." My stomach tightened. We need your help. The bank's taking the house. Heard you have a business now. You always been the responsible one." Responsible? This from the man who said I must have done something. No sorry. No, we were wrong. Just, "We need you?" I drove back, not to save them, but to see their faces. When I arrived, my mother hugged me like we were still a family. My father shook my hand like nothing happened. My sisters smiled awkwardly, like trying to reset a game we already lost. Then came the bills, the numbers, the begging. They used words like, "You're our son," and "We knew you'd come through," as if 3 years of silence never existed. I sat there, listening. Quiet, still. Then I stood.
You remembered me when you needed something. But when I needed you most, you left me to rot." They stared, confused, almost offended. "I owe you nothing. Not anymore." And I walked out. No one followed.
This story isn't just about pain or betrayal. It's about what happens when those who should protect you turn their backs, when silence becomes louder than words, when justice fails, but life goes on. I survived not because they believed in me, but because I refused to give up on myself. Yet the hardest part isn't the years lost or the loneliness. It's facing the people who walked away and now want to come back. If you've ever felt abandoned, betrayed, or misunderstood, you know this story. So I ask you, from one soul to another, what would you do if the people you loved left you behind? Would you forgive, or would you walk away for good?
Betrayal cuts deep. Silence breaks the family. Subscribe. Don't face the dark alone.